Hey everybody, I'm Dave. Welcome to the Quickie Reviews channel. Please like and subscribe to help a brother out. Today we're going to be reviewing the Alpine iLX-W650. I'm going to be honest with you here for a second. I love car stereo stuff, but I'm not an expert. And when I was doing research online, the choices were so overwhelming that I was like, screw it. I went into my local car toys just to poke around and see what's available. And the car toys guy talked me into this Alpine. I'm a huge Pioneer fan, but when I was looking at the Pioneer deck, the guy said the Alpine was way more responsive than the Pioneer. My poor little Honda car, not only is the paint bad, like most Hondas of this era, but the transmission had been on its last leg for at least a couple years, and so I drove it as little as possible. But I finally got it fixed, so I figured I might as well give the interior an upgrade as well. Opening the box, you basically get the stereo, instruction manual, and the cabling. Here you can see the old Pioneer unit that I pulled out of my car. It had a CD player in it, and this new Alpine does not. So it's mainly for the radio, or Apple Play, or Android Auto. If you still have a huge CD collection like I once used to, this is probably not the head unit you want to buy. Here it is pictured after I installed it in the Honda car. I already had an amp in my car, so this was basically just plug and play for me. But if you don't, they actually make a amplifier that hooks right up to the back of this deck, so it's hidden. I mean, I think it looks pretty cool. Never used it, don't know much about it, but I don't know, visually it looks pretty neat. And I do know that Alpine actually makes a decent amp because that's already what I had in my car, so I imagine the quality of this one is going to be the same, if probably not better, because mine's fairly old. Here's a vid of me messing with the controls just so you can get an idea of how responsive it is. It's actually really good, really responsive. It's just as good as what's in my 2022 Ranger, the FFR. But the unit actually does have built-in power. It's only 18 watts, I think. Peak is 50, I believe. But if you have stock speakers, it's probably going to sound just fine without an amp. I'm an Android guy. Sorry, Apple owners. So I have not tested the Apple CarPlay, but the Android part works great. I've been impressed with this little head unit, so much so that when the woman saw it, she was like, I want one. So I ended up buying her one for Christmas as well and had it put in her, it's a 2009 Acura TL, I think it is. But so she enjoys it as well. I know what you're thinking. If he bought two of them, he must like it. I do. But there are a couple things you need to know about before making your purchase. The first is Bluetooth connectivity. You can connect to the unit with your cell phone over Bluetooth, and it works fine for music, but if you're going to make a phone call, the person on the other end is going to hear some feedback of their own voice. If you're plugged in, the issue is not there, but if you're trying to use Bluetooth and have a conversation, it puzzled me at first, and when I finally found other people complaining about it online, then I finally figured out that the girlfriend was not plugging her phone in when she was using her head unit. Could be a deal breaker for some of you guys. For me, it's no big deal because I always plug my phone in anyway. The other thing worth mentioning is that these new stereos won't let you access the more advanced features under the setup without the EBrake being engaged, so it actually wires into your EBrake. I ended up bypassing that on the Honda car because I installed everything myself. But in the Acura, it's actually wired to the EBrake because I took that one to Car Toys because that Acura looked like a nightmare to dig into. So I just paid Car Toys to do it. I put a link in the description for the one I bought off of eBay, which is pictured here. And the last mention, which may or may not be a big deal. I'll get used to it, I guess, but I kind of miss a volume knob. But even with those things being said, as you've probably already guessed, green thumbs up for the Alpine. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video.